welcome to Covenant Kids Online! I'm Addie, and today I'm going to tell you a story, but in a different voice. So, once upon a time, there was an old man.
Whoa. Miss Addie, are you sick?
No,
Wait, but what's wrong with your voice?
I'm telling a story.
Right, but I tell lots of stories, like not lies, like just like stories that happen, and, I don't change my voice.
Well, listen to mine, and maybe after you will.
Well, I'm not sure if that's how it works, but okay, I will trust you.
Okay. Once upon a time, there was an old man who before that was a young lad.
So we went way back in time?
Yes.
Okay, got it. I will not say another word. Zip.
He was a shepherd who fought off lions. Yes. And bears.
And tigers? Oh my! Oh.
No tigers. They didn't have tigers there. But he did protect his sheep. But let's actually get our friends to tell the story. What do you think?
Me or somebody else?
Somebody else.
Okay, are you gonna tell him? Like, who are we asking to do this?
Let's just watch.
Hey everybody, I'm Robbie, and this is my friend Ricky. But as you can tell, he's not allowed to talk. He can only provide sound effects for our story today. And our story is David and Goliath. So, let's begin. Our story is Our story is about one of the most famous heroes in all of the Bible. King David. But our story begins way long before David was a king. So let's rewind a little bit to when he was a boy. Now, David was the youngest brother of 8 other brothers. That means he had 7 siblings. That's crazy. So he had the jobs that no one else really wanted to do. Like taking care of his father's sheep. Gross. It turned out that David was actually a really good shepherd, though. In fact, one day, a lion attacked the sheep. But he fought back and killed the lion. Another time, a bear attacked the sheep. But he fought back and killed the bear. While David was taking care of his father's sheep, his brothers had a much more important job to do. They were in the Israelite army, preparing for an epic battle. Well, kinda. While his brothers were preparing for their epic battle, David's father was concerned about them, so he sent David to send them some extra food so they would be prepared for the battle. David gathered some grain, some bread, and some cheese. When David brought the food to his brothers, he found them all hiding. Because out on the battlefield, there was a giant with a massive sword.
Dun 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 dun.
He was shielded in bronze. He stood 10 feet tall. And his name was Goliath.
Goliath. I'm sorry, I can't talk. I'm sorry. Dun 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 dun.
When David arrived on the battlefield, Goliath was insulting the people of God. Even cursing God himself. None of the other soldiers wanted to fight Goliath because they were all too afraid. But David wasn't. David knew that because God was on his side, Goliath didn't stand a chance. David came up with a plan. He went down to a stream and he chose 5 smooth stones. David marched to the battlefield right towards the giant. When Goliath saw him, he started to make fun of David. But David wasn't bothered by the laughter or any of Goliath's jokes that he was making about him, because he believed what God said about him, and he knew God was on his side. And because of that, Goliath didn't stand a chance. David reached into his bag and pulled out a stone.
Oh, stone.
Pulled out a stone. He put it in a sling, and he swung it around his head. Then Goliath drew his massive sword and charged. The giant stormed across the battlefield toward David. David began to swing faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, waiting for the perfect shot. And faster. No, not yet. The stone flew and hit Goliath right between the eyes. The stone sunk deep into his head and Goliath fell to the ground. David reached down, picked up Goliath's sword, and chopped off his head. David reached down and picked up Goliath's head, and he showed it to the army of the Philistines. And that day, David showed everyone that even though he was just a boy, he could still do great things that God had planned for him. And that is the story of David and Goliath.
Psalms 47. Oh, Psalms 47. Psalms 47. God is the King over all the earth, and He is the King over me. God is the King who deserves all the praise. We'll raise up our voice and sing. And we will give to Him a song of praise, a song that will sing of His word. So let's come together with heads in the air and sing of His glorious word. Clap your hands over all the nations, cry to God with shouts of praise. The King of Kings is to be exalted. Oh, we sing to your name. Psalms 47. Psalms 47. Psalms 47. Give to Him a song of praise, a song that will sing of His word. So let's come together with heads in the air and sing of His glorious word. Clap your hands over all the nations, cry to God with shouts of praise. The King of Kings is to be exalted. Oh, we sing to your name. Sing that again. Clap your hands over all the nations, cry to God with shouts of praise. The King of Kings is to be exalted. Oh, we sing to your name. Psalms 47. Come on, everybody, lift your hands up in the air. Just move to the rhythm. Join the nations everywhere. Come on, sing His praises. Lift your hands up in the air. We know He is risen. Join in singing everywhere. Come on, everybody, lift your hands up in the air. Just move to the rhythm. Join the nations everywhere. Come on, sing His praises. Lift your hands up in the air. We know He is risen. Join in singing everywhere. Lift your hands
All right, kids, so this week we learned about David and Goliath. We went back in time into David's story when he was a little boy, probably around the ages of 11 or 12, and learned about his kind of big moment as a little boy when he defeated Goliath. Hey, we're excited we got to spend a little bit of time with you. Have a great week. This week is Thanksgiving. Hope you have a great time.